Lionel's post-war sheet metal passenger cars, on this episode of Toy Train Tips and Tricks. Hello again, this is Mike with episode 233 of Toy Train Tips and Tricks, and this is a set of 3 Lionel early post-war sheet metal passenger cars that I picked up on eBay. 2 number 6441 observation cars, and a number 2440 coach. To me, these cars have always resembled commuter-type cars with their basic no-frills outlines, so I thought that with a little bit of modification, this mismatched set could easily fit the bill nicely on my railroad. Cataloged in one form or another from 1938 to 1949, except for the war years, of course, these cars come in a variety of colors, coupler types, and lighting options, and appeared in both O27 and regular O-gauge sets. We'll hop in our Wayback machine and see the origins of these cool cars and see what mods and repairs I made to get them ready for my railroad. First appearing in 1938 with the number 1630 Pullman and 1631 observation cars, these 9.5-inch long cars shared the typical sheet metal construction of most pre-war cars. But this new body style featured 7 3-part windows on each side of the 8-wheel cars. The Lionel catalogs of the time described these cars as being 12 inches long, but that includes the extra-long pre-war style couplers. The cars usually came as a 3-car set with 2 Pullmans and an observation. The number 1630 and number 1631 had blue bodies and either aluminum or gray window accents. They lacked illumination and had latch-type pre-war couplers. In 1938, the cars came paired with a number 1664E 242 O27 steamer or 1088W sets. The cars were also available in that same blue color scheme, but with electrically operated box couplers as the number 2630 and 2631 cars. These were paired with the number 1666E 262 steamer in 1938. The cars were also available in the regular O-gauge line in 1938, but these cars featured illumination and a wider variety of colors. The number 2640 and 2641 cars were available in both the blue and aluminum colors, and less often in the green and cream colors seen on my post-war cars. These cars were available in a set with a detailed number 224E 262 steamer and for individual sale. In 1939, the 1630 and 1631 and the 2630 and 2631 cars remained unchanged, but the 2640 and 2641 cars now appeared in the green and cream scheme and in both O and O27 catalogs. The only change for 1940 was that the standalone 3-car passenger set was dropped from the catalog. In 1941, the 1630 and 1631 blue cars came as a 2-car set with a 1688 262 torpedo locomotive, or as a 3-car set with the 1664 242 steamer. The 2640 and 2641 cars came again in green and cream, paired with a 1666 262 steamer, and in that same configuration as part of the 2-train number 1061 Magic Electrol set, which may be considered a very early attempt at limited command control. New in the O-gauge line were the number 2642 and 2643 cars in Tuscan with gray windows. They came as a 3-car set paired with the number 229 242 steamer or with a 224 262 steamer. Meanwhile, the number 2640 and 2641 were shown in both the green and the blue schemes for individual sale, and the 3-car number 2630 and 2631 standalone passenger car set returned to the catalog. With the outbreak of the Second World War, there were no changes in the lineup until production was suspended in favor of war materials. During the wartime hiatus, Lionel's designers developed the operating knuckle coupler, a remotely operated coupler that looked very much like a real North American railroad coupler. Early designs featured a solenoid coil inserted into the shaft of every coupler that could be activated through a special pickup shoe under the truck on a special 5-rail track section. These coil-type couplers were standard in all Lionel locomotives and cars beginning in 1945. The metal passenger cars first appeared in the post-war lineup in 1946. In the blue and aluminum color scheme with illumination, with new coil couplers, and with a classy new steam locomotive, the number 221, based on New York Central's famous Dreyfuss-designed streamlined Hudsons. The number 2340 and 2341 cars returned to the lineup in 1947 as well. Although depicted as blue cars in the catalog, the green and cream passenger cars also reappeared in 1946 in tow behind a number 1666 262 steamer. These cars were numbered 2440 and 2441. The blue 2330 and 2331 cars returned in 1947, this time behind a black 221 steamer, and the green 2440 and 2441 cars, now depicted properly in the catalog, rode behind an all-new number 2025 Pennsy-style 262 steamer. Also, the Tuscan and white color scheme reappeared as the number 2442 and 2443 cars in the O-gauge line, riding behind a new number 675 262 Pennsy-style steamer. For 1948, Lionel redesigned the knuckle coupler for the O27 line, incorporating a metal plate under the truck that could be activated by a magnetic uncoupling track. Cars equipped with these couplers were renumbered into the 6000 series, and so the number 6440 and 6441 cars were born, first appearing in a 3-car set behind the new number 2026 262 steamer. Cars in the O-gauge line retained their coil couplers, and so the number 2442 and 2443 cars remained unchanged, still riding behind their number 675 steamer. But the writing was on the wall for these pre-war sheet metal relics, as Lionel had also introduced their 2400 series plastic streamlined passenger cars in 1948, and these would soon rule the roost for Lionel's passenger sets. But the metal cars would make one final appearance in 1949. The green number 6440 and 6441 cars returned behind their number 2026 steamer in the O27 line, and the Tuscan cars finally received magnetic couplers and made their final appearance as the number 6442 and 6443 cars, still riding behind the O-gauge number 675. The cars were also available for separate sale. As for my cars, I wasn't looking for a match set or anything in perfect condition. I was just looking for a few cars that I could use to make a little commuter train, and these cars fit the bill. Although with 2 observations and a Pullman, I would need to add a coupler to the tail of one of the observation cars, which would then make a neat bidirectional setup. First, make note of the coupler differences between the number 2440 Pullman, likely made in 1947, and the 6441 observation cars from 1948 or 1949. The coil coupler versus the metal plates for the magnetic couplers. In addition to adding a coupler, I also wanted to check the bulbs and the wiring, so I needed to remove the screws on the roofs to access the interiors. Note the standard screw on the earlier car and the Phillips screws on the later cars. It looked like 2 of the 3 cars needed to be rewired. The bulbs are 12-volt varieties that fit into E10 screw bases. I could replace the bulbs with LEDs, but my parts drawer is out of soft-white LEDs right now, and I have a large supply of original-style incandescent bulbs, so I'm going to use those up first if I need to change bulbs. Note how there's only one wire going to the bulb attached to the center rail pickup. The ground side of the circuit comes through the metal trucks, into the sheet metal bodies, and into the bulb holder itself. I'd like to pause for a moment and ask that if you're enjoying the video so far, please like it, subscribe, and leave a comment about your favorite Lionel passenger cars. Also, consider supporting the channel financially with a membership. Members receive access to exclusive video extras, photos, messages, shoutouts, and more. Thank you for helping me help you keep the trains running. Now, back to the video. Here are the original window sheets, dirty and malformed. I will replace these while I'm at it. I cut strips of clear transparency film to size and coated them with Tester's Dull Coat to give them a frosted look. I also added windows to the observation ends that had originally been open. Back to the main project, the truck swap. These metal passenger cars use regular freight car trucks, in this case staple-end trucks, to match the time period, and I happen to have a spare staple-end truck with a coupler that was a perfect fit, except As designed, the bottom of the observation car railing drops down below the car frame, and it will strike the coupler. I'm usually reluctant to modify an 80-year-old part, but I could not figure out any reasonable alternative than to bend and trim the bottom of the trim piece away. I thought I could do this quickly with a pair of tin snips, but this piece is tougher than I thought and required the use of my rotary cutter. It took a bit of bending and shaping and cutting, but I eventually ended up with a satisfactory result, so I could simply put the new truck on and replace the horseshoe clip that holds it in place. Not too shabby, if I say so myself. The next problem was that the tab for the center rail pickup wire was missing from the light assembly. Luckily, I had some extra E10 screw bases in my parts box from another project. I made a few modifications so that it would fit where the original bulb mount was attached, and with a new wire to the center rail pickup, it was ready to go. I just needed to let the window sheets dry, reattach them, and put the roof back on. The other observation car seemed okay, other than being quite filthy. A quick trip to the sink, and it was all set and ready to go. The Pullman car was the filthiest of all. I think it was stored in a very musty and dusty place, and everything that it had encountered since 1947 was still lurking inside. Still, a quick bath made a huge difference. The original wires were brittle, so I soldered in a new piece. Overall, I didn't mind most of the nicks and scratches on the cars, but the roofs seemed especially bad to me, and they would be the most visible. So I made the decision to give them a quick coat of paint, not a full professional strip and repaint, just a fresh coat to clean them up a bit. I found this Rust-Oleum Hunter Green was a close enough match to the original color. If I wanted a perfect match for a full restoration, Lionel Trains carries a full line of paints that match original Lionel pre-war and post-war colors. Check them out. Oh, and that's not a paid endorsement, just a friendly tip. The original window strips have holes in them to grab onto the metal tabs on the car interiors. I decided to cheat, and I attached my replacement window film with rubber cement instead. It's quick and easy. Now, one last bulb check before I reassembled the cars, and then I screwed the roofs back on. And now I have a sharp-looking 3-car commuter consist for my railroad. I can always add more Pullmans because these green cars are the most common of the early metal passenger cars. In a sea of plastic O27 streamliners and baby Madison heavyweight cars, these metal classics often get overlooked, but they represent an important era of Lionel production, and they provide another option for passenger consists. Their weight and low-slung design gives them a low center of gravity, so you can unleash your inner Casey Jones, and these cars will still navigate O27 curbs at ridiculous speeds without tipping over. But maybe not ludicrous speed.
We're gonna have to go right to ludicrous speed.
As for me, I'm going to enjoy some 3-rail therapy right now with these cars. But as for you, keep the trains running, and we'll catch you next time with more toy train tips and tricks.